of the world, now I'm living. And the good just gets better, keeps on giving. Not even close to the end, it's just beginning. Life is getting lighter while the days are getting brighter, yeah.
Hey, it's Ann Perry, and today we're going to be talking about the master number 11s in love with the life path number 5. Ooh, baby, let's just expect the unexpected, shall we? No one knows what they're going to get when they're getting a 5, because 5s like to shake it up and make it different. So they're a lot of fun to be with. Can the master number 11 handle that? Let's go and find out. Okay, so what exactly does the master number 11 need? Now, I know some of you have probably watched the other videos leading up to this, so I'm going to keep this short and sweet. But the master number 11 is somebody who really needs to be able to control their environment. They like to have the last say as to how their place feels, okay? They need a peaceful and harmonious environment. So having lots of people in, lots of friends in, being a little erratic and crazy, it's not going to work so well for them because they really kind of like to know what's going on. They need support so that they can explore their creative potential. Now remember that the 11 is made up of 2 number 1s. So what do we know about the number 1? We know that the number 1 is a self-starter. We know that the number 1 is all about creativity and confidence, being confident in their creative potential to inspire other people. But the 11s are a little unsure of themselves. They're a little insecure. They're afraid that maybe they don't have it perfect, right? So maybe they're not good enough. So they kind of struggle with that. So they're going to need somebody who can support them in that area. They're going to want someone who's loyal, okay? They want someone who says, you know, if I'm going to be there at 5 o'clock, I'm there at 5 o'clock. And they want someone to consider them, okay? Rather than considering their friends and everybody else, consider me first, okay? A romantic partner. 11s need romance. Have I said that enough? You guys need romance. You love it. You love love. You love being in love. So let's bring it on. Someone who's sensitive to the arts. Now this can be sensitive to music or theater or motion picture. Anything to do with the arts is really something that would turn on an 11. Someone who's strong but not too in your face, not too domineering, because you know what? The 11s can be very strong all by themselves, right? But they don't want someone squashing them like a bug, but they do want someone who's going to have a bit of a backbone that can really support them. Okay, so what does the life path number of the 5 need? Freedom. There's a reason why they call it Freedom 55. Yeah, the life path number 5 needs their freedom. They need change. They bore super easily. You know what? If you're not going to keep them entertained and keep them hopping and bring on something new, they're like entertaining a child at all times, right? They have a very busy lifestyle. They live for the moment. There's no planning with a 5, right? 5s aren't always particularly good with their money because, you know, if you call them up and say, hey, guess what? We're going to go down, we're going to go bungee cord jumping, or we're going to go river rafting, or we're going to go do something really amazing. First thing they're going to do is look in their bank account. If there's no money in the bank account, they go to their credit card to see if it'll stand it, right? And they're going because they are there for the experience. They have a very busy lifestyle. The ability to live for the moment rather than the future. That is what a life path number 5 needs. They need you to be able to pack your bags and go. And maybe not even a pack a bag. Just throw something over your shoulder. Let's go with the clothes on our back. That's the kind of people they are. They need the ability to be independent, but also dependent as well. They kind of vacillate between the two. A need to travel and to learn from experience. They don't like to learn through the books as much as what they do learning through experience. I often talk about my oldest son, who's a 5, and I remember him painfully going through high school. Oh my God, I'm still stressed over that, and he's 33. But anyway, God bless him. If you were trying to teach him something that was not going to help him in the moment, you know, if it was not going to help him buy the newest CD out there in the market or go out and buy the newest food on the market, whatever, you know, if it's something new and interesting and fun, he wanted it now. They live for now, right? So if whatever you're teaching me in school, like algebra, forget it. I don't need it. It doesn't make sense to me. So the 5s are very much about living in the moment. Can the 11s handle that? Let's find out. So what do each of you bring to the relationship? Well, the master number 11, you know, it struggles between its masculine energy of the double 1 and the feminine energy of the 2. So it's always striking a balance. It's always trying to find balance. They're a little heavy in the masculine department, but the 2 energy is there as well, so that brings in a lot of sensitivity. But it also brings balance to the relationship. Goodness knows the 5s could use a little bit of balance in their lives. They're very compassionate people. They're very sensitive people, very spiritual, exceedingly creative, double 1s, double creativity. They're very understanding. They're super listeners, right? They can see both sides to a situation, and they just have a way of being a great mediator. You know, if there's an argument going on or something happening, they just know how to calmly bring people back to, common sense. Very loyal. They really rely on loyalty. They're very inspiring people, very passionate. They love romance. They really love romance. A need for partnership. Okay, they have a distinct need to have you there. They want, they want to be in a relationship. They want to have somebody with them. The fives, on the other hand, they're very flexible. They're very adaptable. They've got a wonderful zest for life. They're charming. They're resilient. They can bounce back from anything. Very curious. They've got to learn all the time. Check out things all the time. They have a very, don't worry, be happy kind of attitude. They're risk takers. They love to take a risk, and they're very courageous. They have an interest in a lot of different cultures. They love to travel. They love to learn about different cultures. They like to try different cultural foods and experiences. So they do have a love of travel and adventure. They have a love of dining out while trying a lot of different cultural experiences. They quite often, the five has an addictive tendency. So the fives kind of, sometimes they can fall to the addictions, which can make the 11s a little bit crazy at times too. So you kind of have to watch out for that. Let's just take a look at another aspect. Okay, we always have to look at the negative aspect to an 11. We just looked at the positive. It's only fair to look at the negative. There's a positive and a negative side to each life path number, okay? So the 11s we know are extremely sensitive people. The 5s can be sensitive as well, but in a different way. Most things kind of roll off the back of a 5, whereas the 11s will take it to heart more so. 11s are people pleasers. They give to excess, and they quite often burn out because they're always trying to make sure that they'll be accepted. They don't want to offend anybody. They don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. They're always there for everybody because they don't want to be rejected, right? They genuinely love to give too, but at the end of the day, they really don't want to be left by themselves because 11 doesn't do well by itself. 11 is one of two people. They get very frustrated with their position in life because the 11, remember, they signed the contract that said, I'm going to do something amazing while I'm here, but they don't really know what it is. So they get very frustrated as they're going through their life trying to figure that out. They need partnership. They need you to be there, right? If they need you to be there because they're having a rough moment or whatever, they need you to be there. They can be kind of smothering, right? They can be kind of, I really need you to be around, and might even make you feel a little bit guilty if you feel that you can't be there. They'll set unrealistic standards for themselves. They might blame you when they fall short of that. They tend to point outside of themselves, but at the end of the day, it's really their own expectations that they're really afraid that they're not meeting. And when they don't meet their own expectations, they can often suffer from depression because of a self-perceived failure. Now, the 5s, on the other hand, can suffer from addictions. 5s become addicted to anything very quickly. It could be food, drugs, alcohol. Quite often people with a 5 life path number have issues with weight, trying to learn limitations, but it's difficult for them. So it's food, drugs, alcohol, gambling, scrapbooking, travel, adventure, bingo, bowling, it doesn't matter. It's just they have a real tendency to get addicted to things. They get very restless very easily. They bore very easily as well. They're not happy to just sit. Now the 2s are the kind of people that sometimes prefer to just stay at home, and snuggle on the couch with you. Okay, but if you're a 5, you're like, boring. You gotta get out. It's time to go. Right? They just don't sit well. They've got to keep going. They got to be busy all the time. How's that going to work for you? They can be a little insensitive to your needs because these guys, anything goes. They're adaptable, they're flexible, they're resilient. Things roll off their backs. They can take pretty much anything. They just don't take anything too overly seriously. So they can be a little bit insensitive to your needs. They can be a little self-centered. They're like caged animals. If you ask them to stay in for a night because you really need them to stay in, they're kind of like, they just don't do well. They feel like they're in handcuffs. So you can't cage a 5. So sometimes they can be too big a risk taker too. That comes in with the gambling, the addiction to gambling. I'm not saying that all of them have this. I'm just saying that this is the potential for them to have that. So before you get involved with a 5, you need to ask yourself, am I really going to be compatible with this person? Now do remember that just because the 2 and the 5, you probably figured it out by now that I'm not totally happy with that combination. However, if the other core numbers are in good alignment with one another, and you can find that out by exploring your expression number, your heart's desire number, your birthday number. Certainly, if you were booking a reading with me, I'm going to do that for you. I'm going to break that all down for you to help you understand all these components. And if we looked at a relationship compatibility chart, one of the things I'm going to look at is not only just your life path numbers and how compatible they are, but I'm also going to be looking at your heart's desire number. Are they compatible? Maybe you have a heart's desire number of a 3 and your potential partner has an expression number of a 3. Well, there's some compatibility there. There's a common understanding there. So we can't just write you off just because of the life path numbers. Now, remember I said in a previous video that typically even numbered relationships are usually better off than when you put together an even number and an odd number. Okay? That's not always true, like I say, when you look at the whole chart. But this gives you, when you're looking at life path numbers, it gives you a very quick insight about somebody, and then you can make your decision as to whether you can live with that or not. So you need to ask yourself this. If you're an 11 life path number, can you accept that a life path number 5 has a huge need for freedom and may resist a committed relationship? You might be in that relationship for a very long time before you ever see a ring on your finger. Will I be comfortable with their need to risk? Is that going to be okay for me, potentially, to risk it all? How will I feel if he succumbs to addictions? Will I be able to tolerate his or her need to experience times outside of the relationship? These people really need time with their friends. They have like almost a separate little world, over and above you. Can I accept his or her tendency to get bored and his need of change, like jobs or homes, relationships, whatever it is, like, buying a car, big investment, big thought, big decision, all of a sudden it's like, no, bored with that, let's get another one, kind of thing, which kind of spirals you into more debt, right? So you have to kind of think of things like that. If you're looking at a long-term relationship, the 5s will always want to change it up, shake it up, and make it different, right? They are a lot of fun, just the same. Okay, that's it. That is the master number 11 with the life path number 5. I hope you enjoyed that and maybe learned something, and hopefully you'll share it with someone else who can learn something too. If you'd like to contact me, you're welcome to visit my website, AnnPerryNumerologist.com. I have a website there with a newsletter, so if you want to stay in touch and find out what's going on, by all means. I don't send them out too often, but so you won't be bombarded, I promise. I'm not that girl. I have a Facebook page. My Facebook page is super organized. I send something out every single day because I have some kind of system that allows me to do that. And I also obviously have my YouTube channel. I'd love it if you'd subscribe. I think it's so much fun when we can create community and I can get to know you guys. And I'd love to answer your questions. So if you have a question, post it down below. I'll do my best to answer it. Okay, hoping I'll see you in the next video. Trusting you're having a great day. Thank you so much for making time for me today. I really appreciate it. Have a good one. Take care. Bye for now.